Hello, my friends. Welcome to another live stream with Rachel. Carrie is away this week, so it'll just be me. And I wanted to do some readings for you because I just love doing that so much. And hi, Guillaume. So glad you're here. I just have to be totally upfront with you. I got back from a run about half an hour ago and I got so overheated. My face is beet red and I put some makeup on to try to cover it up, but it's it's still there and I might be I'm still hot. So we'll see how this goes. Usually it's okay for me to run as long as it's not like 95. 95 is sort of my cutoff and it was below that, but man, the sun is so hot today. So anyway, here I am, excited to be here. Many beverages today, extra beverages. I have 4 around me right now. Thank you, Guillaume. You're very kind. But now I want to talk about you. So I'm excited to do these readings, and I thought we would kind of expand upon what Intimate Alien was talking about last week. She was talking about how you already have everything you want. Everything you want is yours. And she was saying that you are experiencing everything you want, what Abraham calls the vortex, already. Your higher self is already playing with everything that you've asked for. And since you are your higher self, you can start playing with it too. And basically, find a way to experience it, whether that's like in your imagination or in a meditation or in a daydream, which is kind of all the same thing, or finding the piece of it that is in your physical environment right now. Like, let's say you're asking for a lottery win, like Carrie. Carrie's always wanting to experience her lottery win. Well, what will that feel like to her? It'll feel like expansion and freedom and abundance. Well, what does she have now that feels like freedom, expansion, and abundance? There can be maybe I don't have to look at the price of food when I go to the grocery store, or when I fill up my truck at the gas station. It doesn't matter how much it costs. I can fill it up every time. Huge. I remember when that was my dream. My only dream was just to be able to afford the kind of food that I really wanted to eat. That was rich to me. And so we can move in stages and we can be appreciative of what we have access to right now. And that helps bring in the big stuff. You know, I used to teach psychic development classes. I still do. I just don't do them live anymore. And people always wanted it to be so over the top, like flashing lights. This is your higher self talking to you, or this is your spirit guide talking to you. They want it to be really clear, really like in your face, right? We all want that. We don't want to have doubt that we're making it up. But if you can start to accept those subtle clues, the subtle communication, the subtle signs, then you'll get more and more and more. But if you just ignore the subtle, you're not going to be able to expand. You're not going to be able to build off of that. And so this is kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, my name still says Intimate Alien. That's funny. If you can find the little piece that's already in your physical world and let that grow, then the big stuff can actually come in. So that being said, I know we all have momentum of not looking for it, of not experiencing it, of thinking we don't have it. And so I wanted to do some personal readings today so that you can feel it, you can find it, right? So I'm excited about that. I hope you are too. And if you would like to ask a question, you can go ahead and do that and put it in the chat, and I will be able to answer for you. And I can also like tell you about some of the things that are happening in my world that are examples of this too, if you want some behind the scenes chat stuff. So why don't you go ahead, and if you have a question, AC, then put it in the chat for me and I'll be able to do a reading for you. I do have my Intuitive Art Oracle cards today and my pastels. So we'll just see what we feel like using to answer your question, what would be a better option. And of course, if you would like to have your own copy of these, just go to intuitiveart.com and there's a little shop tab on the top. We still have free shipping to the US. All right, well, feel free to put your question in the chat and I can do a little reading for you on how you can experience what's in your vortex now, how you can physically manifest what you've created energetically. And I will tell you, my background is different. So if you guys haven't heard, or you folks haven't heard, I am starting a new show. And I filmed a run through last week and I've edited that up. And it's going to be 5 days a week in the morning, getting ready with me in your alignment. So it's called the Daily Alignment Show. And we're just going to have some fun together in the morning so that you can start your day off in your own power. It's going to be awesome. And it will include a blue screen. And I can't do a green screen because Intimate Alien's wig is green. I don't know if this is, you might remember this from maybe 2017, a really long time ago, where we did film with the green screen and my wig disappeared and it was just really funny. So, okay, we have some questions. Okay. C, looking for some insight into my career right now. What do I need to know? Awesome. All right, I'm going to do a drawing for this one because what I love about the cards is that they're fast and they do offer a lot of clarity. But I feel like if you want more nuance, more subtlety, then a drawing is always the way to go. So let's see. Career. So you know the drill, everyone. It's just going to take me a moment to do this. Usually Carrie would be talking as I draw, but if you want to tune in yourself into a question similar to this while I do this, then we can come back and see how we all feel about it. I love it when it's like goes for like the big bold things all at once. I have my eyes closed, but I felt that. Oh. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is pretty incredible. Not what I was expecting when I grabbed that big like lavender color. Okay, so this is interesting because the background, the shaded background, is spiritual truth. So whatever you're going to do, or even like reframing right now, like whatever you have going on right now, or whatever you want to do, you can apply. So spiritual truth, like make sure that you're living your values. You can apply your truth to whatever you're doing. And then there's this box of action. So this is like living your truth. And then on top, it's like a mix of, it's like reddish white cream. It's sort of like contented action and truth. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a subtle thing, but it's a feeling. It's an embodiment. It's an embodiment of contentment and truth. It's like, I'm getting an image of like if someone were volunteering at a pet shelter, like an animal shelter, they would probably feel very warm, content, living in their truth. Like it's not it's not about the title, it's not about the money, it's about what you get out of it. And then in the middle, this is a very light gray color, which is all about truth and intuition. So there's a theme here, right? Whatever you're going to do or whatever you're doing right now, how can you live it more in your truth? How can you show up more as you? How can you? I feel like there's also a box here, right? So it might be a more traditional thing. There's a job title to this or a business format that's already been created. You're not recreating anything. There is something that exists that you can apply to yourself, again, whether it's like your own job or out in some industry somewhere. But it's all about finding contentment and embodiment and happiness and living your truth. This is a kind of situation where if you follow your intuition for those things, money will find you. Like, you don't need to do something because you think it will make you lots of money. Money will find you wherever you go if you're living your truth. So that's what this is saying. Like, truth first, and then everything will catch up with you. So I hope that helps. It's very, very cool and interesting drawing. This is one of my favorite colors here. I love it when I get lavender. So thank you for your question. See. All right, Guillaume. I had a dream that I was given an 11-pound note. Is it possible to interpret this? In the UK, we only get 5, 10, 20, and 50. 11. So we already know that 11 is a master number, right? And I'm not a numerologist, so I'm just sort of going off my own interpretation here. But 11 is about like a reflection, right? It's like as above, so below. It's you, physical and energetic. You can kind of see it as like a mirror. And I think it's, first of all, a great sign that you got money in your dream in an 11 way, right? Especially since it doesn't exist. And so I think your higher self, we'll do the reading, of course, but I think your higher self is saying you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Whatever you've done differently is working, is helping. You're helping yourself receive. That's what I'm feeling from your energy right now. Let me take one of my 4 beverages for a second. Do you guys have, or do you all have like a thing? Do you always have to have a snack with you, or do you always have to have a million beverages? I was at a friend's house a couple weekends ago, and I'd never been there before, and I had my 2 beverages, and I was like, oh, look it. This is how you know I'm comfortable at your house, because I have more than 1 beverage. Anyway, I digress. So let's see, Guillaume, what does this dream mean? And I am going to use my cards, and let me see if I can move your question so that you can see as I pull these cards. So what does your dream mean? This really wants to come out. Okay. Guillaume, this is my wealth and ease color. It's hard to see with the sun in here, but it's light mint green. This jumped out, Guillaume. Wealth and ease. All right, we'll put that at the top there. But there are, here we go. Oh, Guillaume. This is so good, Guillaume. So you can't really see. This card here everything's lining up. Everything's lining up. Your thoughts, your intentions, your actions, your desires, your manifestations, it's all lining up, which is great. Really, really, really great. And then I got the truth card for you. And so ease and abundance is your truth, and everything's lining up. So ask yourself, what have I done differently? Have I opened my mind? Have I been meditating more? Have I been enjoying myself more? Have I been relaxing more? Have I been more carefree? Have I been writing more? Have I just let go of something? Do I feel lighter? Do I feel easier? Because it's been working. So now don't make that into a job, right? Don't now go back into struggle and try to figure everything out as best you can, but in a very light way, keep doing what you're doing because that's great. Excellent. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so I'm not sure why, but we don't have a big audience today. From my view, there's just a couple of you here. So if you have another question, feel free to put it in the chat. And if not, what was I going to tell you about? I was going to tell you about the show. Oh, I guess we'll just chat. If you have more questions, though, put them in there. So I've been doing this a long time, right? So I've been psychic since I was born. I mean, I've always had abilities to see people who aren't human, who aren't alive. You're very welcome, both of you. I'm so glad that it resonated. And I've just had a different experience of being a human than a lot of people. Not everyone, right? A lot of people are born like me, especially now, younger people. And I've always been really interested in communicating that to others, right? Like, this is how I see the world. And this is how you can see the world too, right? Because I used to teach a lot of psychic development classes, and it's so easy to learn because you're just born like this. You just don't know it, right? You don't stay open, most people, but it's easy to reopen. And so that was really what prompted last year me wanting to start this Archelaus Institute of Multidimensional Living. And I've been working on that, but it's a lot to align to. Like, I don't know if you all have had big dreams, like with you see living your truth. That's a really big ask. You know what I mean? Because we're not really primed for that. We're not necessarily like that's not what our parents tell us, completely when we're growing up. If we have really good parents, then of course they're wanting that, but they're also wanting you to have a stable job and partner and a house and a car and all that stuff. So anyway, living into my actual, what I would like most love to do every day, how I want to think of myself, my fantasy self, right? If you've ever heard of that term, would be to have this institute where we talk about what it's like to be a multidimensional person on Earth. And that's what we're doing here, right? We're talking about living as your higher self and experiencing your energetic gifts and all of that. But there's just something about it that's always felt so formal, like an institute. And I don't know why it has to be institute, but that's just what keeps coming up for me in my my communications with my higher self and everything. So it's coming. It's actually coming really soon. But I just wanted to let you guys know, like, I'm always living into something, just like you, just like anyone with a goal or a big dream or potential. Like, we all want to reach our potential, but it doesn't necessarily happen overnight, right? When I decided to change my name, so my maiden name is Mingalello, which is so funny to say. I never really say it. And then my married name was Andrews. And I had published a bunch of books under Rachel Andrews. I was an artist and I'd really sort of started making a name for myself as Rachel Andrews. But my ex-husband is a nightmare and I didn't really want to hold on to that name. And I didn't want to go back to my childhood name. And so I thought, well, geez, I really would like a new name. And my higher self and my guides, they told me Archelaus. And it took me an entire year to come up to speed to that And I tried on all different kinds of names. Even my friend wrote me a poem of like 20 different names to try on. I tried Rachel Per Se, Rachel Persephone, Rachel Green, Rachel Rainbow, like all kinds of different Rachels. And the one that ended up really wanting to work was Rachel Archelaus, and it was the first one that I got. And so I love the idea that in our journeys, we know the truth for ourselves, but it will take some time to line up with it, to get up to the vibration of our truth and of our potential. And it's totally okay to have a nonlinear pathway there. In fact, most of the time when I ask myself these big questions and I'm doing my drawings, I will get the like meandering path card for myself all the time. Of course, now I can't find it because I'm talking about it, but and the Abraham that went out this morning, I don't know if you all get their email. This is the one I always get. Was about like they're not wanting to be at the destination, but having fun along the way to the destination. And that's what this is, right? It's our lives aren't supposed to be, I want this, and so I'm immediately getting that. It's how am I getting there? Like I can have a lot of fun. I can accumulate friends. I can have experiences along the way. And so that's really what I fall back into when I have those moments of where is it? Why isn't it here yet? Like Intimate Alien chanted last week. She was so funny. Where is it? It's there. I know it's there. My higher self is helping itself to it right now. I need to get there. And the best way to get there is through fun and joy and laughter and love and curiosity. And that way we can build up our allowing, because that's the only thing that's off, right? If we can vibrationally match it, we can have it now. But if we need to raise our vibration in order to let it in, that means more good feelings in our life, more good feelings, right? Not less, not more buckle down and hustle, but more openness, more love, more appreciation, more all of that. So yeah, anyway, I love it. I love the journey. It is so much fun because then you like get lost in the journey. You're just having fun. You're doing what you love, what you want to do that day. And then you pick your head up and you're like, oh my gosh, this thing that I wanted is already here. I love that so much. And occasionally you pick your head up and like, oh my gosh, this thing I want is not here. What's wrong with me? And then you got to remember, nothing is wrong with me and nothing is wrong with you. We just need to love ourselves more. How can I love myself more, right? How can I increase my sense of self-worth? How can I be a better caretaker for me, for my life, for myself, right? That's always the answer. Okay. So what's next, my friends? Do you have more questions? I'm happy to answer them. I can see there's a little bit more of you here. And I'm happy to answer. So feel free to put your questions in the chat. I think I will have a sip of I love these so much. These Rebel drinks, they're so good. And they have protein versions, which are incredible. And they taste better than any protein drink I've ever had in my life. Usually they're kind of chalky and those aren't. And this is a Vawori top. And I just did a Vawori review video on the Rachel Archelaus YouTube channel. So go check that out if you haven't already. And Guillaume, thank you for watching and commenting. Okay, so no new questions yet. I know there's a little bit of a lag. So I'm going to ask a general question for all of you. And I'll do it with the cards. So I'm just going to ask what is the easiest way for you to physically manifest what's in your vortex? I love this question. What is the easiest way to physically manifest what's in your vortex? Okay, here we go. And I will hold them up closer to you once I'm done pulling them all. Oh, we got my favorite card again. Oh gosh. Okay. I love, love, love. Okay, so we have, great. Follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. We know this, right? I'm even going to put my pyramid over here because this is our representation, right, of our physical reality, our higher self, our soul and source. We're one unit. We're not separate, right? And so whatever source can experience, you can experience. So following our intuition is the easiest way to physically manifest your vortex. I freaking love that. Okay. And then we have pyramid, right? As a reminder, you are source. You are everything. And the journey is not going to be a straight line, right? We were just talking about how the journey is going to be it's going to be fun and curvy and delicious and delightful and surprising. And we need to make sure that everything lines up. Our intentions, our expectations, our thoughts, our actions, our mood, right? We want to be in a positive momentum, right? Positive momentum. And then we're going to live our truth, because your truth is everything you want is yours. Living your truth is always the best answer. And then what is this? This is wealth and ease, right? Wealth and ease. It's that simple, right? I love intuitive art because it's so clear. It's so simple. Live your intuition. Remember that you are source, right? Creator of all things. It's not going to be linear, so have fun along the journey. If you need some troubleshooting, make sure your thoughts and actions and expectations are all lining up. And then live your truth, and you'll have wealth and ease. I love, love, love. Hi, Katerina. It's nice for you to stop by. If you'd like a personal reading on how to most easily physically experience your vortex, manifest your vortex, let us know. I'd love to do a reading for you. If you have any comments, just let us know. So this is it. So, in the email today, I said that intimate aliens message of just play with it now is easier said than done. And the only reason that's true is because of momentum. It really is that easy, right? You can hear your intuition as long as you're in a generally content or good mood, right? We want to make sure that we're in a good receiving mode before we're following any of our impulses, right? Although that's not even true. I'm really a big believer that you can trust yourself no matter what, right? Like, let's say something really terrible happens to you. Well, then all of a sudden, do you not trust yourself, right? You can trust yourself. And even if it's not something you would do if you were in a good mood, it doesn't matter because it's probably something that will help you feel better, right? Abraham talks a lot about how there's an emotional scale, right? And if you're experiencing powerlessness, feeling, it's so hard for me to even access these things. Like, what is it even called? It's so funny when you don't live in negative emotion, they're like non-existent to you. And it's true that in the higher dimensions, there are no negative emotions. There's only well-being in the fifth dimension. What am I trying to say? Your boyfriend dumps you, okay? And you feel powerless. Well, slashing that guy's tires will help you feel more powerful and move you up the vibrational scale, right? So you wouldn't just do that on a regular old Sunday without any prompting, but going from powerless to powerful, or at least sad, right, is a jump up in the vibrational scale and the emotional scale. And so you can trust yourself. I wouldn't advise doing that. I wouldn't advise being spiteful or hateful or anything like that. But you know, it's a hard world out there, and I've definitely done some really shitty things when my back was against the wall, and nothing that I would do now, but I'm okay, and everyone else is okay. Like, I really think we're so hard on ourselves, and I see we have some questions, so I'll get to that. We're so hard on ourselves, and I think we can really lighten up. Like, I was just talking about this with my partner. If you go back through anyone's life, everybody's an asshole. Like, everyone has been an asshole. I've been an asshole for sure. Not in a very long time, I would hope. But when I was younger, I've done some terrible things, like I've never like physically hurt anyone. Like, I'm not the worst, but there have been times when I've been really hurtful and things I would never do again. And everyone can say that. And so we just got to be so easy on ourselves, forgive ourselves. We've moved on. We're better people now. We've learned. And it's okay if you're not the shining example of a human being all the time. I think it is really important, as we have the capacity to own up to what we've done in the moment, like now. Like, let's say I inadvertently hurt someone. Now, I would feel terrible, and I would definitely take responsibility for it. But when we're young, when we have things going on, we don't always have the capacity to do that. We're often just really in a survival mode. So what I'm trying to say here is you can trust yourself, and it's okay for you to have an imperfect journey, because we all do. And it's okay that you haven't been the, best human being at every moment throughout your entire life, because that's absolutely impossible. And it's also okay for you to have some grace with other people who are in difficult situations. I don't know why we got on this topic, but we did. So there you go. Okay. So, Guillaume, I'm just going to ask Katerina's first, and then we'll get to you. I was going to ask how to recreate health for me and my cats. My browser wouldn't start for ages. Interesting experience. Everything is easy, right? Well, as we just discussed, not always, right? Things can happen, and sometimes we can have a little bit of a wrench in the ease plan, right? I would say, as a whole, ease is easy. Ease is easy, but sometimes you can't find ease, and that's totally okay. So how can you recreate health for you and your cats? Interesting. I just brought one of my cats to the vet yesterday just for a checkup. And so I guess, first of all, is there any medical need that can be attended to by a doctor? I, for decades, didn't go to the doctor. And then once I got, this is not your reading, by the way, this is just a chat. When I got a little bit more stable in my own self, like I could ask questions and I could be more present in an appointment, like when I felt like, okay, I have some stability in my life, I will be able to like deal with a medical professional. Then I attracted better medical professionals and people who would actually listen to me. And they've been incredible. I saw like 4 different doctors, 5 over the last 2 years, and they've been really, really, really helpful and taught me a lot. So I don't know if that's an option for you, right? It's not always easy to find someone, and it's definitely expensive. So I don't know if that's an option, but just saying, having a new perspective on the medical industry as like individual people who are capable of being in tune, right? even if they don't know it. That's a really good thing to know. But let me look into this. So you can see this before me because I have my eyes closed. Feels very jaggedy, ups and downs. Okay. So let's take a look at this. I'm just looking right now to see if there's any like kind of overall image that I'm seeing. Almost looks like a paw with some claws or a fire or something like that. There's a lot of movement. And so first of all, this orange here is all about your thoughts. So are your thoughts in the direction of health? And since they're all sort of pointing in this direction, I would say yes. So your intention is carrying you right now. Your intention of creating health is a really good one, and it's doing a lot of work. Underneath this color on the bottom here, this color right here, that is intuition. And so your desire for health and your intuition are guiding you in a good direction. This right here is love, like doing what you love, like human, I'm having a great time right now, love. And so this is a foundation for you to fall back on, because when you're doing what you love, you're allowing your higher energy into your body, which does a lot of cleanup work, right? Remember, you are a light being, right? You're a light being first and foremost. Yes, we're physical. Yes, we respond to physical things like medication and physical therapy. But first and foremost, you're a light being. So adding more light to your body will do wonders for you. And then this color right here is like a deep, it's like a deep browny purple, which is really about grounded embodiment, grounded spiritual matter, right? It's you at your core. So this is saying basically like whatever the protocol would be on the physical plane is trustworthy. Now, obviously, I don't know the details, but this is do what you love in your life, right? And this is grounded, like being a physical being and being a spiritual being at the same time. So you can trust, like what I just said to you before. I'm always psychic even when I'm not trying to be. So I'm definitely more identified as a light being, right? As an energetic being. But sometimes I got to go to the dentist, and sometimes I have to go to the physical therapist, and sometimes I have to go to the eye doctor to get a new prescription. And that's okay. That's what this is saying. It's just an extension of you, right? So those experiences can be good. Those experiences can be seamless and painless. And if that's what your intuition is guiding you to, you can trust it. So, but I think the overall, the big thing to start with is do more of what you love in your daily life if you can. And that'll get you jump started. Okay, but great work because you already have that foundation of your intention. So thank you for your question. Okay, well, can you tell? It looks like my face is not beet red under this makeup anymore. For those of you who came in late, I did a run this morning. I got way too overheated, The temperature was good, but the sun was just so intense today. So I came here like bursting red and very dehydrated. So I've got 4 beverages here that are helping me out. Thank you for your question, Katerina. Okay, we have one from Scylla. I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't have my glasses on. But very cool painting or artwork in your picture. Okay, how can I help or say to my 14-year-old? Oh, wait, and I forgot Guillaume. I'll get to you, Guillaume. Just hang on. How can I help or say to my 14-year-old granddaughter to handle her social life, friendship, drama emotionally? Man, I would not go back for any amount of money. It's so hard when you're young. It's so hard. So let's see. I'm going to use the cards for this one. So what can you do or say to your granddaughter to help her with her social friendship drama? That is rough. All right. All right. Okay. I'm going to move your questions so you can see this, and then I'll show them to you up close. Ooh, okay. Got a lot of shapes here. All right. So, first of all, just know that everything is okay. Everything is one. This is a texture that's all about just, it's all connected, right? So her life right now and what she's dealing with, it's just a part of her growth. Okay. Now, that's not anything I would have wanted to hear when I was 14, but it gets better. So these are two colors or two shapes that are sort of similar, right? Riding the waves. And then we sort of start to get into like, this is like a grass blowing in the wind. There's going to be waves of up and down, right? Like feeling better, feeling not better. But then if you can grow some roots into who you really are, you won't be so swayed by what other people are doing. You'll move, you'll still feel it, but you won't be uprooted, right? You still have a baseline of who you are as a person. And then these two colors here, this is a light yellow. And this is about basically finding your own happiness. So finding your own happiness and then living your spiritual values. She probably won't use these words, right? I doubt a 14-year-old will be, well, I probably did understand what their own spiritual values are, but you can help her to understand that life is easier if you're true to yourself, right? That's what this is saying here. Life is easier when you're true to yourself, when you know what makes you happy, when your happiness is an inside job and you know that, and when you can live in a way that makes yourself proud, right? You are happy with how you're living. So that's what this is saying, is you can be an example for her and you can talk to her about helping her develop her own sense of self, is really what this means. How can she find her own sense of self, right? And not just get validation from the outer world, because that is a recipe for disaster, right? And that's what a lot of kids learn to do, especially since they have so much social media. So hopefully that helps. Okay, and Guillaume, let's go back to you. Okay. How do I attract the right readers to my 2 French spy novels that I've written so far? I love that. Okay, let us do a question with the cards, or a reading. I mean, my first instinct is to talk about it, right? Talk about your book, share and a little excerpt if you can, a little paragraph, tag, do it on Twitter, on Instagram, tag spy novel writer, right? Like whatever hashtags people that do that. Do get on TikTok. Book talk is really big. Right? Talk about your books. Do little readings of your books. But let's see. Okay. Oh, 2. These cards really respond to you, Guillaume. Okay. We have a bright yellow and universal love. Okay, so joy. Joy. Let me just hear for a second, is this your joy or is this their joy, right? There are people who find joy in reading spy novels, and there are people who want to read French spy novels, right? So connect to your joy in having written them and other people's joy in reading them. And then the universal love. I think there's another one that wants. Okay. And no truth. Again, you keep getting this. So universal love. This is like, I would imagine, because you're such a prolific writer, you probably experience some kind of universal love when you're writing. You're a channel, right? You're channeling these words through you, and you're experiencing some kind of feeling when it's there, even if you can't really identify it. So write more as well, right? You have these books, find the joy in them and connect to other people's joy, just like in those ways that I was talking about, and dive more into what helps you feel universal love when you're writing, when you're being creative, and live your truth. So that's what this is talking about. So your readers are there and you connect with them through their own joy, right? So finding where they are, book talk, Instagram, Twitter, hashtag spy novel, hashtag French novel, hashtag whatever, and play it up, or like put in a few sentences or do a little reading, or something like that, to where or get crazy, get creative, put on a French outfit and do a reading like that, or make little flyers. I don't know, but there's definitely something to do with joy and you living your truth. Okay. Thanks for the question. And Katerina is saying, I have given up on doctors many years ago, chronic Lyme. I might give it another try, but yes, I'm headed in the right direction. Yeah, look, I totally understand. I grew up with undiagnosed celiac disease and a wheat allergy, and an egg allergy. Luckily, my parents figured out really soon that I had lactose intolerance, and they fed me soy formula as a kid because it was really clear I could not eat dairy. But having an autoimmune disease, like, is Lyme autoimmune? Probably, right? I'm not really sure. And not getting respect. I mean, I'm talking like when I was a little kid, my doctor, my pediatrician, thought I was bulimic, because when you have celiac, you often have like lots of bodily side effects, right? And one of them is that your tooth enamel is like compromised. And so there was stuff going on with my teeth as a kid that my dentist thought was bulimia. And it's like, so I'm in agony, right? I have a disease that no one knows about. I didn't know about. And they're accusing me of doing this thing that I'm not doing. And it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. And no doctor ever figured out that I had celiac. I had to discover it on my own when I was 19. And by then, a lot of damage had been done. Like, there's so many complications to every kind of health condition that if you don't have it figured out, you're putting yourself at risk for a lot of other things. Like, autoimmune diseases are often comorbid with other things. Like, if you have one, then you'll probably get 3 more, because that's sort of how the body works. So anyway, I totally understand. I hated doctors. I avoided them for years and years and years. And then, like, last year, which it really helped that I had good insurance, because I could afford to go to the doctor, right? I was like, I really wanted to prioritize my health. I'm 41 now, and I just felt like, okay, I'm ready to go down this avenue again. I had heard stories of other people, other very energetically connected people having a good experience with doctors. And I was like, I can trust myself to find someone that will work for me. I can use my intuition to pick a doctor, right? And it'll be okay. And I really had to hype myself up for it and like soothe myself into finding a good person. And I did a couple of them, you know? And so you can really trust yourself. And it doesn't mean that that person has to be a naturopath or someone who's outwardly spiritual, even. The people that I went to are just really good at what they do. They just love doing what they do. And that's enough to be connected, right? And so, um, anyway, good luck. I know you can find the right person. I know they're out there. Just let yourself attract them. Know that it's possible and let yourself attract them, and you will do great. So I'm glad you're headed in the right direction, though. All right. So you're welcome, Scylla. Guillaume is saying, thank you, Rachel. Makes sense. By the way, my French spy novels will contain 11 in the series, both in English and French. All of them are titled Runaway Boy to French Assassin. I love it. Fantastic. LH, hello. How are you? Medical profession helping me with eye issues, but more improvement needed to maintain a normal life. I know you don't give medical advice. It's true. I don't give medical advice, but you're just asking for insights from art or cards. I can do that. So again, you're already going to a doctor, so I don't need to tell you to go to a doctor. I'm not a medical professional, but we all know this. All right, so insights on your eye issues. Let's just do that. How can you most easily facilitate recovery? We'll say that. How can you most easily facilitate recovery? And we know you're already doing medical things. Okay. We have, deep alignment, and I will bring these up closer for you once I'm done. Okay. Oh, I love, love, love. We have one more. Okay. This is great. This is great for you and knowing you. All right. So deep alignment. This is like knowing yourself, getting tuned in, meditating, making sure you're connected to your full energy, right? You're aligned. And this is like a whole new level of that. Like wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, be aligned. Be aligned at the grocery store, be aligned in your car, be aligned in your apartment, be aligned in your work. Like find yourself wherever you go. Find yourself. Where am I right now? I like to do this by getting into the center of my head, like Jim Self suggests. So I'm basically imagining that, there's a dot. I'm bringing it into the center of my head. I'm moving it back between my ears, behind my third eye. I'm living in the center of my head. And I do that as often as I can remember. And that really helps me, really a lot. So be yourself everywhere you go. And this, again, is wealth and ease. You all are, we're talking about physically manifesting your vortex today, so I'm not surprised wealth and ease is showing up a lot. But if you want an easier, wealthier time, right, and this includes working eyes, be yourself wherever you go. Tuned in, tapped in, turned on, right, as Abraham would say. And then this is a progression of action and embodiment. So, and this all works together. If you align and you are connected, if you're enlivened, if you are holding your higher dimensional energy in your body, you're going to be animated and you're going to become more embodied. So when we are, I think I know where this is going, when we are embodying more of our higher dimensional energy, because we're light beings, everything's going to work better. And even if your physical eyes were not to improve, you can still have vision, right? You still have vision, regardless of what your body's planning to do with itself. So that's really profound there. So this is all about you becoming your light body more consciously. And I think you know how to do that. I mean, this is how to do that, but I think you know how to do that too. So that's a great question and a really cool answer. Thanks for asking it. All right. And Guillaume, about your 11 books in the series, think about that 11-pound note that you got in your dream too. I think those are probably connected. That's a really good sign to keep going, keep writing. Yeah. You know, Abraham always says, if you want to sell a book or you want more readers for your book, write another book. And in the publishing industry, they talk about the best way to get new readers for your first book is to write another book, because every time you come out with a new book, people will go back to your old books as well. So fantastic. I'm seeing another question, but we're actually out of time. I love you all. Thank you all for coming. I had a really great time chatting with you and doing readings for you. And if you'd like to help out the channel, you can hit the like button. You can get your own cards if you want at intuitiveart.com and go to the shop tab. But other than that, thank you. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you next week. And Carrie will be back. We'll have a really good time. So thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.